Dhammika, we talked about the private sector, but I don't think we touched on the public sector.
Sure, we are coming to that there now. Just before coming to the public sector, I just want to add a little more with regard to this creating this service culture, even in private sector too. Now, we were talking about educating people. Now, education does not confine only to a limited segment of people in an organization. It's from top to bottom, everybody must go through these educational programs. Often, my experience had been, now when you talk about service, and when you go and have educational programs to the frontliners, they say that why not we do these programs to the top first? Because sometimes you say, yes, give a great solution to your customers, we educate the frontliners, but if their hands are tied, if they are not being empowered, how can they do so? So even this creating customer service culture training too got to be followed by top to bottom by everybody.
Right.
Coming into the public sector enterprises, the question which you asked, truly public sector too, we can create the customer service culture, because by and large they make a huge contribution to the economy. Right? And there are so many areas where public sector services are needed, and only they are doing that. So at the end of the day, our dealings are with human beings. So in service, what we learned is treating a human being as a human being. So if you have a great customer service culture across the island, everybody would like to stay in that country, right? And it becomes a land preferred by everybody to live peacefully. So now, therefore, public sector too need this customer service culture orientation set.
Because there are so many government departments working very closely with the public, moving with the public. Now, what had been your own experience with the government sector organizations in creating this culture we are discussing?
Yeah, very good question, Daya. Over the last 5-6 years, I have found there's a great interest from the public sector to run these kind of programs on customer service culture. And namely, I would say the first thing now, right now we are involved with a program called Siyapathwila to educate police officers. Siyapathwila educated the police officers on service orientation. This was initiated by Honorable Secretary to the Defence, Mr. Gotabaya Rajapaksa, and then thereafter there's a lot of interest that was being taken by Additional Secretary to the Ministry of Defence, Mrs. Damayanti Jayaratne, and then retired senior DIG, Mr. KP Pathirana, and they have invited us to run a series of programs for the entire police department. And so we are running these programs to enhance that service orientation amongst them. In addition to that, if you take the Department of Immigration and Immigration, today that had been a preferred government entity for anybody to go and get anything done. I went and got my passport in just within 23 minutes. And I know of a lady who was here, a foreigner who was here, wanted to extend her stay. She went to the Immigration Department and got her visa extended just within 15 minutes. And she was telling me in her own country she can't get it done that fast. And recently the Immigration Department won an award, so-called that ETA, Electronic Transfer Authorization. Out of about so many countries, we got the award.
Mr. Chulananda Perera is
so coming back to that now, Mr. Chulananda Perera, the controller, who initiated this customer service culture orientation there, had been doing a lot of work. So it's one entity where you could show that even in public sector, you can give a great service.
This is one department that has always been coming under a lot of criticism. But look at the change.
Now people like to go there to get things done. And in addition to that, if you take the customs, Sri Lanka Customs, present DG, Director General, Mr. Jagat P. Vijayveera, recently started a program for the entire staff to give this service orientation, customer service culture to create amongst his department staff. And one thing we found was just after the program, the next day, one of the senior officers extended a wonderful service to delight a citizen who came to the country. So public sector is also showing a tremendous enthusiasm and interest, and it's working fine.
Right. Dhammika, it seems finally, I mean, everything seems to boil down to creating the right attitude on the part of the service provider. Am I right?
Very much, very much. Now this is the biggest challenge that everybody is facing. How can we have this attitudinal change? We got to start somewhere. We got to start somewhere there. We must believe positively we can do it. So educational programs, continuously we got to do it. And then success stories from entities, countries, we must share with them. Take Japan, what a service-oriented country. Singapore, just 6 years ago they started up a campaign called GEMS, going extra mile to serve. And as a result today, the country's service standards had reached a high level. So if this attitudinal change can be done through education, consistently doing it, believing in it that we can do it, and everybody participating in it, and then to do so. So got to make a start somewhere, and truly we can achieve results when we do so.
What are the attributes that you see in a great service excellence culture, very briefly?
Yes, there are a couple of attributes. They are all in our research we found there are about 30 attributes that we could talk about. I'm not going to touch on all.
No.
But maybe the first thing is that today time is money. Whenever somebody comes to get something done, must give that service as fast as you could. Then the flexibility is something which we got to extend. So good service excellence culture, flexibility has to be there. We got to look at the convenience of the service recipient. Not we should look at the service provider's convenience, we must look at the service recipient convenience. And then accuracy is something that we really got to maintain in whatever the things we do. Now I told you I got the passport within 23 minutes.
Right.
Accuracy 100%, right? And then in addition to that, knowledge, we got to be knowledgeable. The service provider must be knowledgeable. So there are certain functional attributes, that's what I said. But in addition to that, there are certain emotional attributes which we must take into consideration. The first thing is a positive approach towards the whole thing. And the other thing is greeting the people who were walking in, giving the biggest thing, the smile.
Which costs you nothing.
Nothing, right? And virtually sells everything in the entity.
Right.
And that friendliness, politeness, patience. Likewise, there are all in all about 30 attributes. So these attributes we got to inculcate, develop consistently, we got to deliver it.
Right. Okay, we got about 2 minutes left. Final question. Any suggestions you want to make in creating this service excellence culture? What you want to suggest?
Believe in it, that treating a human being as a human being, we have to do it. And make it a wonderful and a beautiful country where that everybody would like to go anywhere and get it done and to get a value or a satisfaction. So service providers, we got to commit towards it, and we must have the needed education, and in addition to that we must get ourselves inspired to go and do it. On top of that, we must engage in fully until a solution is given totally, it's not over. So we must from start to the end with the same enthusiasm we must work, and then people got to be empowered to do so. Good practices on top of that must be recognized and then rewarded, right? So if you recognize and reward good practices, people naturally will be inspired to do so. And I'm quite optimistic we can make this country a wonderful service excellence oriented country. And it's at the end of the day in us and people. We had been doing it. If you look at the history, 30 years ago, whenever we had been publishing a brochure to attract tourists, we said, here visit a country, the smile is there all the time in our faces, we are polite, kind, patient, friendly, all those attributes are there. But over the last 3 decades, owing to the problems this country had been facing, we lost a little bit of touch of that human element coming in and then serving. But now the time is again right for us to extend this service and make Sri Lanka so lovely, serving lovingly.
Well, it's been a great pleasure. It has always been a pleasure talking to them, because you come up with excellent, innovative ideas, which is what we need at this point in time. And as you said, if we can put into practice what you have been just saying, Sri Lanka will be so lovely.
Serving lovingly.
Serving lovingly. Well, thank you very much for your participation. Appreciate your gracious presence in this program.
Thank you. It's an honor to be here.